From our studio in Kuching, Sarawak, this is TVS Nightline. You're with me, Douglas Elliott, and let's begin with our top story. The young Dipertua Negeri Sarawak, Tunku Hensri Abdul Taib Mahmud and wife, Topuan Ragat Kurdi Taib, arrived at the late Tan Sri James Masing's residence to pay their last respect. Reminiscing the fond memory of working alongside Masing, Taib described the Bali Assemblyman as a friend and a true gentleman.
Taib remembers vividly the moment he first approached Masing to be one of his ministers under his administration during his reign as the fourth chief minister. Saddened to lose a friend and a colleague, the governor said Masing was a great leader as he is sincere and loved serving the people.
He was such a polite, nice man. One day I called him, he was working in Cisco, I think. Yeah. Can I ask you nicely to resign? Oh, what have I done, isn't it? I want you to become one of my ministers. I don't know whether I'm a good politician, but I said, you're sincere, you love your people, you will do well. And he did very well. Very nice man. Very good. Yeah. He served his area well, and he has many friends in Kuching. I'm really happy I've been associated with him and have him as one of my ministers before. I'm very happy. Okay.
His Excellency told the story full of expression when met by reporters earlier today. The late Deputy Chief Minister passed away at 7:05 a.m. on Sunday due to heart complications at Norma Medical Center. He will be laid to his final resting place on Wednesday, November 3rd, after a funeral wake at the Association of Churches in Sarawak.
Lawmakers across Sarawak were set to pay tribute to Tan Sri James Masing on Wednesday, whose death last Sunday, aged 72, has left a huge void in the life of fellow Sarawakans. Members of the public will convene to pay their last respect to Masing from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
State Secretary Datuk AMAR Jaul Samion said only those who have completed their vaccination regime are allowed entry to the Association of Churches in Sarawak ACS at Jalan Stampin. Members of the public are required to dress appropriately and to take the RTK antigen test before attending the wake. Jaul added only 30 people are allowed entry during a session, therefore calling for the public to adhere to SOPs and to wait for their turn in an orderly manner. The first session will start at 8:30 a.m. until 9 a.m., designated for VIPs including the Chief Minister and Board of Ministers along their spouses, followed by dignitaries and heads of department from 9 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. Masing's body will be brought to the Nirvana Memorial Park in Siniawan after the funeral wake at 2 p.m. for the burial ceremony.
Tan Sri James Jemut Masing was always generous in his sharing his wisdom, to which he was described as an experienced and prominent politician in Sarawak. Assistant Minister in the Chief Minister's Office for Corporate Affairs and Sarawak Public Communication Unit, Dr. Abdullah Saidul, who treasures each moment he had with Masing, noted that the passing of the veteran leader was a tremendous loss to the country and the state.
Dan antara yang paling saya ingat ialah ketika beliau membuat satu statement yang sampai sekarang saya ingat ialah bila dia kata, Abdullah, it's okay to be racial. It's okay to be fighting for your berjuang untuk kebajikan dan masa depan kamu sendiri. But never ever cross the line pasal racism atau bigotry. Bermaksud dia kata it's okay kamu berjuang tentang kebajikan dan masa depan kamu sendiri. Tapi jangan sesekali, terutama sekali di bumi Sarawak ini, kita melampaui batas politik sehingga dalam isu perkauman ataupun isu kebencian yang semata-mata untuk meraih populariti politik.
For Pakan Assemblyman Tan Sri Willem Mawan, the absence of Tan Sri James Masing is a great loss to the Dayak community, especially the Iban. He described him as an admirable leader who stands up for the rights of the native community.
The late Tan Sri Dr. James Masing is an admirable Iban leader who doesn't mince his words. He always stands up to any ridicule or any condescending comments regarding the Dayak culture, the identity or dignity. For that, we in Sarawak Dayak National Union salute him as a leader. For what he stands for ran parallel to that of the Sarawak Dayak National Union. His untimely demise really constituted a great loss to the Dayak community everywhere.
The demise of the late Deputy Chief Minister is one that is sorely felt by all Sarawakians, including leaders in the state. For Sarawak Youth and Sports Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, the late James Masing was soft-spoken, yet stern, and not one to waver on his stand.
Mahu memperjuangkan sesuatu, he will go all out. He is very soft-spoken. Bila dia jarang sekali, tidak pernah saya melihat mendiang berucap ataupun berbicara dalam tone yang keras, dalam tone yang tinggi. Tidak pernah. He is very soft-spoken dalam cara dia menzahirkan apa-apa pandangan dan sebagainya. That's why kita akan merindui beliau dalam kabinet dan we have lost a very good Sarawakian. We have lost in the Iban community, the Dayak community has lost a very good leader.
At the same time, he believes that the top leadership of Parti Rakyat Sarawak PRS will be able to identify a suitable candidate to fill the vacant president post. Adding that the legacy of the late Tan Sri must be continued to ensure that the Baleh constituency area can remain a GPS stronghold.
Kita tahu kawasan tersebut adalah a very strong stronghold of GPS. That is one of the very stronghold of PRS. Tidak dapat digugat. Dan kita mahu melihat tempat itu masih lagi menjadi kubu kuat PRS. Dan GPS lah pada masa ini.
Meanwhile, Parti Rakyat Sarawak PRS Women's Chief Datuk Sri Doris Sophia Brody defined the late Masing as a great mentor who constantly put the interest of the rural people close to his heart.
But he is always there, selalu telling me, though whatever it is, we have to move on. Whatever that we do for this party, for these people out there, we must always think of those in the rural populace. And he said, whatever that we do, we have to bring about development, we have to bring about progression to make sure that those who live in the rural are able to be brought to the mainstream of development.
Recalling the precious memories with the late Deputy Chief Minister, the PRS Women Chief said she experienced a sense of loss considering she has known him since 1995. She added he is a humble and approachable individual and a visionary leader.
TVS membawakan kepada anda tayangan filem menarik bersempena Hari Deepavali. Mereka dari darjat yang berbeza. Tidak semua dapat menerima hubungan mereka, namun dapatkah cinta mengatasi segalanya? Bobby, Khamis 4 November, 8:45 malam. Seorang gadis pergi sejauh bandar Paris untuk mencari kekasih. Berjayakah dia menemui cinta?
Romantic nonsense.
An Evening in Paris, Jumaat, 5 November, 8.45 malam. Jangan lupa bersama kami di Pavali ini di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Harus diingati, aktiviti menyelam memang berisiko dan terletak pada disiplin dan pematuhan protokol yang tinggi. Jangan sesekali berasa angkuh dengan keupayaan kita kerana bila di dalam laut, kita umpama berada di dunia asing. Mesti menjaga laut. Rugi kalau kita tidak jaga dia. Tapi di Miri, banyak yang masih sihat, masih cantik.
欢迎来到家有大厨，我是 Christy，
我是 Bryce，
跟我们一起与不同的厨师学习如何烹饪多元种族的美味健康佳肴。
从菜巴萨到餐桌前，在这一集中，我们将与厨师英庆一起烹饪美味佳肴，千万别错过哟！
Welcome back. Integrity, transparency, as well as accountability is needed for Sarawak to provide a world-class delivery system in its civil service, and that corruption would only affect the state negatively, causing a leakage to public funds, driving away foreign investments, as well as reducing economic return. And this was said by Chief Minister Datuk Abang Johari Tun Openg today.
During his speech, whose text speech was delivered by Assistant Minister of Urban Planning, Land Administration and Environment Datuk Len Talif at the launching ceremony of Sarawak Forestry Corporation's Integrity Day, noted that the government sector has often received the notion as one of the sectors that is prone to corruption. Recognizing the seriousness of the corruption problem, Abang Johari have come up with measures as a resolve to the matter.
I have introduced several measures to ensure that our administration is efficient, clean and transparent. The training of officers under Certified Integrity Officers, CEIO programs, and the investment in relevant departments and agencies is an example of our initiative toward ensuring a clean administration.
He added several measures that are currently being implemented by the State Integrity and Ombudsman Unit or Union to enhance the check and balance mechanisms at all levels of government, laws and policies in order to establish a healthy and thriving environment. For organizational context, Abang Johari said if a strong culture of integrity is established, the employees will be able to make better decisions in caring for the organization's long-term interests.
It would create an environment of trust among employees, which is vital for teamwork, minimizing costly mistakes, dispute and delay. This makes good business sense, which is vital for organizations to thrive.
In regards to the SFC Integrity Day 2021, Abang Johari commended SFC's effort towards a world-class corruption-free organization, in addition to hoping that SFC will continue to take responsibility to implement all initiatives in the organizational anti-corruption plan and ensure that the organization complies with the procedures and integrity framework.
And the same development, Sarawak Forestry Corporation SFC is taking steps of embracing fully digitalization. Among others, it will adopt a one-stop repository database management system for its conservation efforts and management, as well as in its enforcement activities in Sarawak.
Its Chief Executive Officer Zulkifli Muhammad Atun said the new digital system will also include e-licensing system for permit and license application and renewal.
Currently, we have our e-procurement and e-claim system, an online platform developed by our own people for procurement and claim processes. As well as we have also a transparent platform such as our SFC website and social media to advertise our tenders.
He added that digital adoption would increase the effectiveness and productivity of its organization and service quality. In addition, SFC has also implemented digitalization of payment for entrance fees and services at its parks through the use of digital wallets.
The rate of teenage pregnancy in Sarawak have declined after numerous intervention programs initiated by the state government. A total of 1,269 cases were recorded this year, a difference of 830 cases when compared to last year's 2,099 cases.
Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah attributed 11 main factors contributing to teenage pregnancy in Sarawak.
There is a small percentage akibat jenayah seksual seperti rogol, statutory rape, datuk, merogol, sumbang mahram ni. So ada yang melibatkan pregnant ataupun mengandung. So we categorize it as jenayah seksual.
Due to the pandemic, the implementation of intervention and awareness programs to curb this matter was postponed throughout the whole year of 2020 and 2021. These programs will be intensified in 2022 through collaboration with several agencies to increase the number of baby hatch across the state to decrease the number of baby dumping.
Ideally, if we could have one on this side and one at the other side, Selatan dan Kuching Utara, that would be good. Walaupun dari segi bilangan buang bayi di negeri Sarawak, kita lihat tidak ramai, but each, see 5 there, each baby or each life is important to us. Itu sebabnya kita melihat baby hatch ini penting walaupun kes buang bayi di negeri Sarawak tidak besar.
Fatimah added the additional number of baby hatches should not be an excuse for anyone to engage in sexual intercourse before marriage. The baby hatch should be seen as a platform to save one's life from being dumped at an unforgiving yet unsuitable place.
Drug and substance abuse within the community is worrying, so much so that the Youth and Sports Minister, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, said the matter requires monitoring.
Karim, who is also the chairman of the National Association for the Prevention of Drugs, Pemadam Sarawak, added that various initiatives have been in place to stem the issue of drug abuse in the state.
Ya, dan saya tahu memang di seluruh negeri Sarawak kita mengaturkan program-program seperti ini supaya kawasan-kawasan baiknya dalam bandar ataupun dalam di kawasan luar bandar. Sarawak adalah antara yang paling bawah dari segi indeks. Tapi walau bagaimanapun macam api juga. Walaupun dia kecil, kita jangan biarkan jadi besar. Kita mesti sentiasa mengawasi kerana masalah dadah ini adalah masalah yang kalau kita lihat secara mendalam, dia boleh meruntuhkan individu, dia boleh meruntuhkan masyarakat, dia boleh meruntuhkan negeri dan juga negara kalau kita tidak jaga, awasi dengan baik.
In addition, the programs and activities are implemented at the grassroots level with the involvement of community leaders.
Keen in producing its own vaccines that are of high quality, safe and effective, and in an effort to turn the country into a hub for vaccine production and to boost confidence in vaccine use, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today launched the National Vaccine Development Roadmap and the Malaysian Genome and Vaccine Institute, MGVI. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the vaccine producers would be in accordance with the conditions set by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA.
Walaupun pembangunan R&D dan penghasilan vaksin ini merupakan suatu pelaburan yang tinggi, tetapi ia berpotensi memberikan pulangan jangka panjang buat keluarga Malaysia melalui penjimatan kos merawat penyakit selain daripada membawa pelaburan syarikat-syarikat multinasional ke Malaysia.
In addition, through the implementation of PPVN and establishment of MGVI, highly skilled human capital in various fields of research, especially those related to healthcare and vaccines, can be produced.
Lebih banyak peluang pekerjaan akan dapat diwujudkan untuk keluarga Malaysia sekaligus membantu meningkatkan jumlah tenaga pekerja mahir dan meningkatkan taraf hidup dan kesihatan rakyat.
Commenting further, the Prime Minister said that PPVN would not be focusing solely on COVID-19 and its role would be expanded to include the development of vaccines for other diseases, including head and neck cancer by the Cancer Research Centre. The registration for Package Peranti Siswa Keluarga Malaysia or Malaysian Family Student Device Package specifically for institutions of higher learning IPT students from the B40 group is expected to be open in the second quarter of 2022. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC said it would work with mobile service providers to ensure the smooth implementation of the initiative. Among them are Celcom Axiata Berhad, Digi Telecommunications Sundaran Berhad, Maxis Berhad, U-Mobile Sundaran Berhad, Telekom Malaysia Berhad, and YTL Communications Sundaran Berhad. The package was announced in Budget 2022, tabled in the Dewan Rakyat on Friday, and is in line with the government's intention to ensure that the people, especially IPT students, have devices and internet access at an affordable cost. MCMC said the package would help IPT students carry out online learning activities, surfing the internet for research purposes, and sending messages to family and friends.
Selama 58 tahun Sarawak Merdeka, kerajaan negeri telah berusaha membangunkan negeri dan mengutamakan keselesaan rakyat. Sarawak telah mencapai kemajuan besar dalam segala aspek pembangunan dari segi fizikal, ekonomi dan sosial. Bagi mengikuti semua kemajuan yang telah dan bakal dilaksanakan, saksikan Randau Jalai Pemansang program temu bual berbahasa Iban bermula 17 Oktober ini setiap Ahad jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
The Sarawak State Budget 2022 has just been announced, and it's time for us to chat about it in detail with policymakers and corporate leaders. Join me, Mona Abdul Manap, for the Econ Roundtable Season 2 on TVS, Channel 122 Astro and MyTV. See you at the table.
The kain tenun is quite complicated to make if not done the right way. The embellishments and designs on the Royal Tenun Pahang certainly comes with its own meaning and philosophy.
Tenun Pahang dia special, dia ada keistimewaan dia lah.
We should use this wonderful heritage to continue creating wonderful check patterns.
Walaupun dah berbagai-bagai teknik, tapi teknik lama tu mesti juga kita hidupkan.
Thank you for staying with us. The G20 summit in Rome, which ended on Sunday, ends with a pledge and the adoption of a declaration reaffirming the crucial role of multilateralism and international cooperation in overcoming the global challenges arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. Among the key issues stressed by the Sultanate of Brunei is environmental conservation and protection, which requires global cooperation. Our colleague in Brunei, Paula Malay Ali, explains.
The G20 summit held last week focused on climate change and environment. The events were the coming together of world leaders in Rome, Italy, including His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah, Sultan Anyan Niputuan of Brunei Darussalam in Atita, delivered at the second session of the G20 summit as guest of the chair. His Majesty reiterated ASEAN's 2021 commitment to implementing the United Nations framework on climate change and the Paris Agreement. Developed nations were urged to assist in the support of adaptation and mitigation actions through finance, technology development, and transfer and capacity building. And the monarch also shed some light on the transition of ASEAN into a circular economy, welcoming the sharing of best practices. Also stressed was the involvement of the youth in policymaking as the future leaders and inheritors of this planet. In conclusion, His Majesty also shared ASEAN's establishment in the strategic and holistic link to emergencies and disasters in a bid to be more prepared against future crises. At the end of the summit, leaders endorsed the G20 Rome Leaders Declaration and enjoyed a dinner as hosted by the President of the Republic of Italy, Sergio Mattarella. Paula Mala Ali for TVS, reporting from Brunei Darussalam.
At least 9 firefighters were killed and 1 person injured when a cave collapsed on Sunday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The accident occurred early Sunday morning when a group of firefighters was training in the Dos Bocas cave in Altinópolis, located about 360 kilometers from Sao Paulo.
Part of the cave collapsed, leaving 10 people trapped. According to the Sao Paulo Fire Department, the person rescued alive has multiple fractures and hypothermia and was taken to the hospital to be treated. Police reported that 6 other people suffered minor injuries when the cave collapsed, but they were not trapped in the cave. About 75 firefighters and rescuers worked throughout the day on the rescue.
Meanwhile, in Japan, a 24-year-old man dressed as the comic book character the Joker attacked passengers on a Tokyo train line on Halloween night on Sunday, injuring 17 people in the process.
Police arrested the suspected attacker on the spot. A man believed to be in his 60s was unconscious and in critical condition after being stabbed, while witnesses also said the attacker had spread fluid around the train and started a fire. One video uploaded on Twitter showed a steady stream of people running away from a train car where, seconds later, a blaze lit up. Another video showed passengers rushing to squeeze out of the train's window and onto the platform where the train had made an emergency stop. One witness told a local newspaper he thought it was a Halloween stunt, recalling the moment he saw passengers running in a panic towards his train car. He said he then saw a man slowly waving a long knife with blood on it. Local media reported later that the suspect told authorities he wanted to kill people so he could be sentenced to death. The attack occurred on the Keio Express line bound for Shinjuku, the world's busiest rail station, at around 8 p.m. local time. Partial service on the Keio line remained suspended late on Sunday when Japanese voters went to the polls in an election for the lower house of parliament.
And finally, Indonesia's Yogyakarta is the latest city in the world to tackle its mosquito-borne disease with more mosquitoes. Since 2017, a joint study conducted by the World Mosquito Program at Australia's Monash University and Gajah Mada University in Yogyakarta has been releasing lab-bred mosquitoes across a few dengue red zone areas.
The study's results, published in June, found that the mosquitoes with the Wolbachia bacteria can reduce the transmission of mosquitoes-borne viral diseases by up to 77% and reduce hospitalizations by 86%. The research is not new, and similar studies have been carried out in Brazil and Vietnam, where infections were found to be reduced by 70% and 86% respectively. In Singapore, a different method has been used where male mosquitoes with sterile Wolbachia bacteria are released to mate with the Aedes aegypti, the dengue vector. This method produces eggs that do not hatch and has reduced the mosquito population by almost 90%. Wolbachia is a common bacteria present in insect cells that may occur naturally in 60% of insect species, including some mosquitoes, fruit flies, moths, dragonflies, and butterflies. But it is not found in Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, according to the WMP, which initiated the research. When Wolbachia mosquitoes breed with Aedes mosquitoes, the bacteria makes it difficult for viruses such as dengue, Zika, and yellow fever to reproduce in the host and will stop it from being transmitted to humans.
Semua sudah kena. Dulu Om Ram di Bantinegoro. Semua sudah kena. Maka saya itu bagaimana caranya dusun kita itu sehat, bersih. Saya sebagai kader harus bisa mencontohi gitu.
It placed Wolbachia mosquitoes in hatchery buckets at households located within a 26 square kilometer or 10 square mile study site. Half of the 24 clusters in the site had the mosquitoes, while the other half had only regular dengue control measures.
Yes, we are very confident with this technology, particularly for the areas whereby Aedes aegypti is the most responsible factor. With high acceptance also with the community and the stakeholders, we believe this can be implemented to eliminate dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases in Indonesia.
According to the World Health Organization, WHO, the global incidence of dengue has grown dramatically in recent decades, with about half of the world's population now at risk. An estimated 100 to 400 million infections are reported every year.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. You can find the latest news on our website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you and good night.